know, Teen Wolf the movie wrapped up a lot of loose ends from the original series. It also left behind a bunch of new questions, and that means there's still plenty of room for a proper season 7. The movie did a solid job of reuniting many of the fan-favorite characters and pushing the story forward, but it also opened the door to new possibilities, especially with some character arcs left hanging and fresh storylines just getting started. One of the most talked about elements of the movie was the tragic fate of Derek Hale, played by Tyler Hoechlin. His heroic sacrifice was powerful, but fans were left wondering if that really had to be the end for him. Interestingly, Hoechlin himself hasn't ruled out returning. In a recent interview, he said he'd absolutely come back if given the chance, joking that Derek is probably on his 4th death by now. What makes his comment even more exciting is the genuine affection he still has for his castmates, many of whom he calls his best friends in real life. So the idea of a revival isn't just a fan fantasy, it's something the actors themselves would be happy to revisit, especially if the demand keeps growing. And the demand is definitely still there. Fans have never stopped talking about Teen Wolf, and the success of the movie proves that there's a dedicated audience ready for more. Even though there's no official word on a new season yet, that passionate fan base might just be what keeps the door open. And while Derek's death might seem like a closed chapter, Teen Wolf has never shied away from supernatural loopholes. Characters have returned before from situations just as final, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched to imagine Derek coming back in some form, especially if it means helping to guide his son Eli. Eli Hale, introduced in the movie as Derek's son, is a compelling new addition to the lore. He's young, conflicted, and just starting to understand his place in this chaotic supernatural world. His character could easily become the emotional center of a new season, especially with Scott stepping in as a mentor. This generational shift would feel natural and could set up a whole new arc where Eli steps into leadership, facing off against fresh threats while trying to live up to his father's legacy. That alone creates a rich foundation for Season 7. On top of that, Lydia's haunting visions of Stiles open up another possible storyline. The movie teased that there's more to her dreams than meets the eye, which could be a subtle way of hinting that Stiles' story isn't over. While Dylan O'Brien didn't return for the movie, a well-developed Season 7 arc centered around Lydia's psychic connection to him might give the character a meaningful way to still influence the story, even from afar. And if the stars align, who knows? Maybe O'Brien could be tempted back with a smaller, more focused role that gives closure to his and Lydia's intertwined destinies. Another exciting angle is the inclusion of characters like Allison Argent, who came back in the movie after being presumed dead for years. Her return was unexpected and emotional and completely rewrote the rulebook for what's possible in this universe. That sets a strong precedent for other characters to re-emerge under the right circumstances. So rather than looking at Derek's death or Stiles' absence as roadblocks, they can be treated as creative challenges, opportunities to tell deeper, more surprising stories. If Teen Wolf were to move forward, it wouldn't have to be a full revival of the old format. Instead, it could take a slightly different shape. Maybe it's a limited series, maybe it's more films, but the key would be focusing on the new generation while still honoring the old. That balance can keep the franchise feeling fresh without losing its soul. And with someone like Jeff Davis at the helm, who already admitted the movie felt like a Season 7 all-in-one, there's clearly still a creative spark behind the scenes. Plus, there's another option to keep the momentum going, bringing in a star actor to add weight and presence to the cast. Someone with big screen appeal who could bring something new without overshadowing the returning favorites. The right actor could even be positioned as a new supernatural threat or ally, creating dramatic tension while expanding the world. They don't have to replace anyone, just help deepen the story and draw in viewers who may be new to the Teen Wolf universe. And it's worth remembering that revivals don't always have to play it safe. Teen Wolf has always thrived when it leans into risk, from introducing wild mythologies to constantly evolving its core relationships. Season 7 could build on that spirit, using what worked in the movie as a launchpad rather than a conclusion. Maybe it's time to dive deeper into the mysterious origins of the Hale family, or explore what happens when Eli's powers start growing beyond what anyone expected. Or maybe the nightmares Lydia experiences are more than just dreams, maybe they're a warning. Whatever direction it takes, the potential is clearly there. With passionate fans, an open-minded cast, and a whole supernatural universe left to explore, Teen Wolf Season 7 could absolutely happen. And if it does, it might just end up being the most ambitious and emotionally powerful chapter yet. If Teen Wolf Season 7 does move forward, it wouldn't just need to answer some of the lingering questions left by the movie. It would also need to inject new energy into the story. And the best way to do that is by bringing in a fresh face who could balance the scale a bit, especially since Dylan O'Brien's Stiles didn't return. One smart move would be casting a rising young actor who could step into a pivotal role, someone who can hold their own alongside Tyler Posey, Holland Roden, and the rest of the returning cast. Take someone like Noah Jupe, for example. He's shown serious emotional depth in A Quiet Place and Honey Boy, and he's got that kind of subtle intensity that would fit perfectly into the moody supernatural vibe of Teen Wolf. He could play a sharp, quiet, observant type, a transfer student who knows a lot more about Beacon Hill's supernatural past than he lets on. His character might even have ties to the Dread Doctors or the Wild Hunt, something that connects the past seasons with the new mystery. Or consider Percy Hymes-White, who made a splash in Netflix's Wednesday. He's got that classic supernatural drama look, brooding, mysterious, and just quirky enough to be memorable. Slotting him into the world of Teen Wolf as a new beta werewolf trying to gain control of his powers would give the show a relatable, character-driven arc. Maybe he's being hunted, maybe he's running from something, or maybe he's something entirely new that even Scott and his pack haven't seen before. There's also Lola Tung from The Samurai Turned Pretty. If Season 7 wanted to expand beyond just werewolves and start exploring kitsunes or banshees in more detail again, she'd be a perfect fit. She brings that emotional weight to her performances and could make a great new Banshee character, possibly someone who crosses paths with Lydia and helps expand the mythology even more. Another strong contender? Jalen Thomas Brooks, who showed serious potential in Walker Independence. He could be brought in as a rival alpha, maybe one who doesn't see eye to eye with Scott's peaceful approach to leadership. His presence could add a darker tension to the story while forcing Scott to rethink how he's leading the next generation. Introducing younger characters like these could give the show a natural sense of evolution, showing how Beacon Hills is shifting and growing. And by casting strong young talent, Teen Wolf wouldn't just be riding the nostalgia wave, it'll be genuinely building something new. Plus, this kind of casting gives the show the chance to appeal to a fresh audience while still giving longtime fans something familiar and emotionally grounded. There's definitely room for new dynamics, new powers, and a younger generation stepping up, not to replace the core cast but to build on their legacy. Teen Wolf has always been about transformation after all, so why not bring in some new blood to show what the next phase looks like? Just imagine a mock-up for one of these actors or a potential Season 7 storyline with them at the center. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop, and if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments.